This video will cover beginner part 1 questions regarding the topic of curve sketching. Number 1. F is a polynomial, so the domain is all real numbers. F of x equals, we can rewrite as, take out x, then 2x squared plus 3x minus 12. F of x equals 0 when x equals 0 or 2x squared plus 3x minus 12 equals 0. Using the quadratic formula, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, then x equals minus b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. A is 2, b is 3, c is minus 12, then x equals minus b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c over 2 times a equals minus 3 plus minus square root of 9, then make positive, then 8 times 12, which is 96 over 4, minus 3 plus minus square root of 105 over 4. Then x-intercept are 0 and minus 3 plus minus square root of 105 over 4. And f of 0 equals 0 plus 0 minus 0, which is 0. Then y-intercept is 0. And f is a polynomial, so there is no symmetry, no asymptote. Then f prime of x equals 6x squared plus 6x minus 12. We can factor, take out 6, x squared plus x minus 2, then 6 times x plus 2, x minus 1. When f prime of x equals 0, x equals minus 2 and 1. So critical numbers are x equals minus 2 and 1. The number line is here, minus 2 and 1, f prime of x. When the testing number is minus 3, use this. F prime of minus 3 equals 6 times minus 3 plus 2 times minus 3 minus 1 equals 24, which is positive. When the testing number is 0, f prime of 0 equals 6 times 0 plus 2 times 0 minus 1, which is minus 12, less than 0. When the testing number is 2, f prime of 2 equals 6 times 2 plus 2 times 2 minus 1 is 24, which is positive. Relative maximum is here. Use this. F of minus 2 equals 20, and this one is relative minimum. F of 1 equals minus 7. B, use this one. F second prime of x equals 12x plus 6. F second prime of x equals 0. That means 12x plus 6 equals 0. 12x equals minus 6. Then x equals minus 1 over 2. The number line is here, minus 1 over 2. F second prime of x. When the testing number is minus 1, the F second prime of minus 1 equals, use this one, 12 times minus 1 plus 6 is minus 6. Negative, that means concave down. Then when the testing number is 0, F second prime of 0 equals 12 times 0 plus 6 equals 6, which is positive. That means concave up. F second prime changes negative to positive at x equals minus 1 over 2. The point of inflection is at x equals minus 1 over 2. F of minus 1 over 2 is, use this, 13 over 2. Then inflection point is minus 1 over 2, comma 13 over 2. Now we know x-intercept are 0 and minus 3 plus minus square root of 105 over 4. These are rounded to minus 3.312, 1.812. Y-intercept is 0. The number line of f prime of x, relative maximum is minus 2, 20. Relative minimum is 1, minus 7. And inflection point is minus 1 over 2, 13 over 2. Then f prime of x is 0 when x equals minus 2 and 1. Interval less than minus 2 is positive. Between minus 2 and 1 is negative. Greater than 1 is positive. And f second prime of x is 0 when x equals minus 1 over 2. And this part is negative. This part is positive. F prime is positive, that means increasing. Second prime is negative, that means concave down. Prime is negative, that means decreasing. Second prime is negative, that means concave down. F prime is negative, that means decreasing. F second prime is positive, that means concave up. F prime is positive, is increasing. F second prime is positive, that means concave up. And the relative maximum is minus 2, 20. Relative minimum is 1, minus 7. Inflection point is minus 1 over 2, 13 over 2. Now the shape of the function is, this part is increasing and concave down. That means if you can imagine this part, think concavity part first, then increasing. Then this one is concave down and decreasing part. So it looks like this. And concave up, then decreasing. This one. Then concave up, increasing. This part. Relative maximum is minus 2, 20. Relative minimum is 1, minus 7. And inflection point is minus 1 over 2, 13 over 2. The shape of the function is here, like this, between this, concave down, and between here, like this, passes through the origin, x and y intercept, and then increasing and concave up. Then x-intercept is, that one is minus 3 minus the square root of 105 over 4. And this one is minus 3 plus the square root of 105 over 4. So this is the graph of 2x cubed plus 3x squared minus 12x. And the relative maximum at minus 2, 20, relative minimum at 1, minus 7. Inflection point is here. Number 2, let y equals f of x. F is a polynomial, so the domain is all real numbers. And x-intercept, that means y equals 0. So 0 equals x times x minus 2 cubed. X equals 0 and 2. So x-intercept are 0, 0 and 2, 0. Y-intercept is when x equals 0, then 0 times 0 minus 2 cubed equals 0. So y-intercept is 0, 0. F is a polynomial, so there is no symmetry, no asymptote. Y prime equals, using the product rule, UB prime equals U prime B plus UB prime, then x prime times x minus 2 cubed plus x times x minus 2 cubed prime equals 1 times x minus 2 cubed plus x times this part 3 times x minus 2 squared times x minus 2 prime equals x minus 2 cubed plus 3x times x minus 2 squared. This one equals 1. Then we can rewrite as x minus 2 squared times x minus 2 plus 3x times x minus 2 squared. Then we can factor, take out this one, x minus 2 squared, then x minus 2 plus 3x, then x minus 2 squared times 4x minus 2. Originally, it is not necessary to use this part when factoring, but if it's difficult to factor here, then it is more convenient to make a common factor like this form. Y prime equals 0. That means x minus 2 squared times 4x minus 2 equals 0. Then x minus 2 equals 0, or 4x minus 2 equals 0. Then x equals 2, 1 over 2. Then critical numbers are x equals 2 and 1 over 2. Number line is here, 1 over 2 and 2. When the testing number is 0, use this one. Y prime of 0 equals 0 minus 2 squared times 4 times 0, which is 0 minus 2. Then 4 times minus 2 is minus 8, which is negative. When the testing number is 1, y prime of 1 equals 1 minus 2 squared times 4 times 1 minus 2, which is 2, equals to when the testing number is 3, y prime over 3 equals 3 minus 2 squared times 3 times 4 is 12, minus 2 is 10. Answer is 10, which is positive. And here, relative minimum, then f of 1 over 2 equals, use this one, 1 over 2 times 1 over 2 minus 2 cubed, which is minus 27 over 16. Y prime is x minus 2 squared times 4x minus 2. Then y second prime is, use the product rule, x minus 2 squared prime times 4x minus 2 plus x minus 2 squared times 4x minus 2 prime. Using the chain rule, 2 times x minus 2 to the power of 1 and x minus 2 prime, then 4x minus 2 plus x minus 2 squared, then this part is 4, equals 2 times x minus 2, this is 1, then 4x minus 2 plus 4 times x minus 2 squared equals 2 times x minus 2, then this part we can rewrite as 2 times 2x minus 1 plus 4 times x minus 2 squared. Then this one together make 4, x minus 2 times 2x minus 1 plus 4, x minus 2 squared. Then we can factor, the common factor is 4 and x minus 2, then 4, x minus 2, 2x minus 1 plus x minus 2, then 4 times x minus 2, 3x minus 3. Then 4 times x minus 2 times this one, we can rewrite as 3 times x minus 1. Then finally, 12 times x minus 2 times x minus 1. Then y second prime equals 0. That means x minus 2, x minus 1 equals 0. Then x equals 2 and 1. The number line is here. Y second prime, 1 and 2. When the testing number is 0, use this one. F second prime of 0 equals 24, which is positive. That means concave up. When the testing number is 1.5, y second prime of 1.5 equals minus 3, which is negative. Concave down. When the testing number is 3, y second prime of 3 equals 24, which is positive. Concave up. Y second prime changes the sign at x equals 1 and 2. This is inflection point. Then f of 1 equals, use this one, is minus 1, and f of 2 equals 0. Then inflection points are 1, minus 1 and 2, 0. Now we know x-intercept are 0 and 2, y-intercept is 0, relative minimum is 1 over 2, minus 27 over 16. The inflection points are 1, minus 1 and 2, 0. y prime equals 0 when x equals 1 over 2 and 2, and this part is negative, between this part is positive, greater than 2 is positive. Y prime is negative, that means decreasing, positive, this is increasing, positive, increasing, positive, increasing. And y second prime is 0 when x equals 1 and 2, then 1 is 0, 2 is 0. In the interval less than 1, this part is positive, negative, positive. Y second prime is positive, that means concave up, positive, concave up, negative, concave down, positive, concave up. The relative minimum is 1 over 2 comma minus 27 over 16. Inflection point are 1 comma minus 1 and 2 comma 0. The shape of the function is concave up and decreasing like this, concave up, increasing, concave down, increasing, concave up, increasing. And then conclusion is when x equals 1 over 2, relative minimum. When x equals 1 is inflection point. When x equals 2, inflection point. Relative minimum is 1 over 2 comma minus 27 over 16. Inflection point is 1 comma minus 1 and 2 comma 0. And x and y intercept. Until relative minimum, this shape, and then increasing and concave up, increasing and concave down, increasing and concave up again. So this one is y equals x times x minus 2 cubed graph. I hope this video has been helpful. If you have any questions, leave them in a comment. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more.